So in front of me here, I have another Baron Sun knife. This is another knife from that Maroon Stag Bone series that I bought the Barlow from that I liked so much. And this is, I think, the medium lockback is what they call this. I'm not exactly sure. The model number is MSBC05. And I believe these are Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive knives with this handle material, the maroon stag bone. Um, but it is a lockback, a fairly small lockback. If you look at it here in my hands, I can get four fingers on the handle. The blade's probably less than 3 inches, and I believe it's the whole knife is 3 and 3/4 inches. I'm assuming closed. Because the blade is not that long. This is actually smaller than I thought it was going to be. That being said, it's actually put together fairly decently for a Baron Sun knife. I think I paid $30 for this. I got it while it was on sale because I had been looking at and getting another one of these maroon stag bone Baron Sun knives because I liked the Barlow so much. So then I ended up ordering this one because I didn't have a lockback from Baron Sun yet. But if we look at the bone here, the bone's kind of almost more of like a purplish, reddish, pink type thing. I love the color on this because I mean, purple's my favorite color. So as close as we can get to purple is even better. But they call it maroon, and I suppose it is fairly maroon. The blade's got kind of like a stone wash finish on it here. Blade is carbon steel. These are made in the United States, in somewhere in Alabama. It does say on the box here somewhere, Jacksonville, Alabama. So good American-made company, affordable knives from Baron Sun. Occasionally you get one that's not put together so well, but then again, occasionally you get a case knife that's not put together so well. I'll say I think Baron Sun worries a lot less about some of the stuff that doesn't matter for a knife that you're going to use, whereas Case really focuses on like their polishing and stuff, and doesn't worry so much about stuff like blade play and stuff like that. Baron Sun, it seems like, is more of a knife for the working man, in my opinion, because they're a little rougher. And fairly well assembled, but then they're not polished. You can see there's some marks on the bolster. It's not a high polish. The blade's got that like stone wash finish on it there. Um, they left some polishing compound on the knife. This is in fact just polishing compound. I could scrape it off with my fingernail. So they did leave some polishing compound on the knife. The knife locks up well. There's no side to side play. And then there's a little bit of like, if you're used to lockbacks, you're probably used to this, but like the blade will push up a little bit against the locking bar. But no, actually, I think I'm feeling a little bit now. I didn't think I felt any side to side play before. So there's a little bit of side to side play, but nothing serious. I'll probably try to fix it just because I get OCD about blade play. But yeah, there's just the slightest amount of blade play. I didn't feel that before. So that's interesting. So there's a little bit of blade play. Nothing serious or anything. You wouldn't have to fix it. I'm probably going to try to fix it just because I get OCD about that. It is a lockback. The locking bar is a little low on the blade, which is, not ideally you'd want it to be, level, but I mean, I don't think it's really going to affect the use of the knife or anything. Knife unlocks and closes pretty well. The action on a lockback knife is never going to be like the action on a slip joint where it really snaps closed, but it should, close without you having to shove it the whole way down, which this one does. And it does snap open pretty good, I will say. So pretty good action on this lockback. The blade is not perfectly centered. It's just barely not scraping that liner on this side. There's just the slightest gap there where it's not scraping. So that's good. um, yeah, off center. Traditional pocket knives being off center, in my opinion, is not a big deal. Some people say, it's an easy thing to fix, so it shouldn't be off center. But it's not something that I care about because it doesn't actually affect the use of the knife. I've gotten knives from almost every manufacturer, I think, that are slightly off center when it comes to to traditional pocket knives, because they're pin construction. Whereas with modern folders, you got screws and you can screw around with them forever. When a knife's pinned together, it's a little bit harder to fix quickly. Now you can do the whole like put the tang on a thing and hit it with a hammer and stuff. There's plenty of videos on YouTube showing how to do that. I still have not figured out how that works because I haven't gotten it to work for me. Um, but a lot of other people have. So, you can look up those videos and figure out how to fix that if that really bothers you. But anyway, knives put together fairly decently. The back of it actually, some slight gaps there, but nothing egregious. It's a big word. Um, no serious fit and finish issues. The bone seems to be fit pretty well. Some slight gapping, but that's not a big deal. The bone on these maroon stag bone knives is beautiful. My personal opinion, because I love the color. Of course, this is called stag bone because similar to Case's bone stag, it's just a cow bone probably that they jig to make look kind of like stag, and then this one's dyed some fancy color, just like the green series that Smoky Mountain Knife Works did, that I have a Stockman from and a Trapper. I haven't really carried the Trapper. The Stockman I like a lot. Um, but yeah, I think I can see probably carrying this knife. It is fairly thin. Like it's not anywhere near as thick as like a 110 or anything. And this is of course a lot smaller than a 110 or a 112, which I was kind of hoping it'd be around the like 112 size, but it's quite a bit smaller. This is a knife that I feel like you could use every day and you wouldn't frighten people because it's nice and small. The blade shape's kind of cool. It's pokey enough, but it's not super pointy. And it's got a lot of belly to it, which I like. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with this knife for what I paid for it, which was like $30. And I think normally they're like 40 or 50, which is still, pretty good price on a knife like this. Um, Nickel silver bolsters, no brass. Steel liners, I'm guessing. Of course, steel back spring. And I guess we're just using one pin, and it's just probably steel pin. And then I'm guessing this scale or cover is held on here with epoxy or glue or something. And the shield is definitely glued in there. The shield, by the way, is the shield that they use on all of their carbon knives, and it just says carbon fourth generation. I don't know what the fourth generation means. They've been using it on their knives for years now, so I'm not sure if it means the fourth generation that's owned the company, the fourth generation of carbon steel, the fourth generation of knives. I'm not sure exactly what it means. It's probably just some nonsense that they put on a shield or whatever. I kind of wish they would just put like a BNS for Bear and Son or something else. The really cool thing would be like an outline of Alabama or something. Of course, that would be probably rather expensive to change, a stamp to like the shape of Alabama, and then the dye would wear out and you'd have to replace it every couple of years or get sloppy. This is probably much easier to do. But yeah, this medium lockback from Baron Son Knives, I like it quite a bit. I believe I'll probably end up carrying it just because, it's a pretty good size, pretty pocketable knife. It's honestly probably around the size of like a Case Sodbuster Jr. Now, if I would have pre planned this, I would have grabbed a Case Sodbuster Jr., but I didn't. So I don't have one here to compare it to. Um, I don't have anything that's like something that all you guys are going to have to compare it to. But here's my Arthur Wright and Son Barlow, which is similar size to like a normal Barlow, and it's about that size. So it is a smaller lockback knife, and it's certainly very like you could easily throw this in your pocket, and you wouldn't be annoyed by it. Whereas if you throw like a buck 110 or a buck even a 112 in your pocket, it's probably going to wear on you after a little while. It's pretty heavy, pretty big knife to have in your pocket. If you're like me and you occasionally throw a jumbo trapper in your pocket, Um, maybe that doesn't bother you, but for a lot of people, I think they want a smaller knife to carry with them, just for everyday stuff. And then if they want a bigger knife, they'll put it on a belt sheath or carry a fixed blade or something. But I like big folding knives, but that's me. That being said, this medium lockback folder here from Baron Son, I like it quite a bit. I really love these covers. They're very good looking, in my opinion. I may still end up picking up another knife with this cover material just because I like it so much. Um, but yeah, so this knife is carbon steel, really cool covers, and I like it. The only thing that's different from this, from a knife that I would carry a whole lot, would be the fact that it's a lockback. I don't traditionally carry locking knives. Usually, just carry slip joints because I'm not concerned about the blade closing on me because I know how to use a knife. Um, and I know that for some people, getting away from a locking knife can seem scary, but if you're using your knife properly, as in cutting with it like this and not stabbing things, because I don't know why you would be stabbing things, other than just, poking into something to cut it, which I get, if you're poking into some plastic to open it up, but that shouldn't be enough to make your knife close anyway. Um, and I don't know why you'd be stabbing things with your pocket knife. Buy a fixed blade if you're trying to defend yourself with a knife. But I wouldn't recommend trying to get in any knife fights because knife fights suck, from what I understand. I've never been in one. Rule number 2 of life: don't get in any knife fights. That's rule number 2. Rule number 1, of course, is stay alive. Um, but but anyway, the Baron Sun medium folding lockback here, I like it. I could see picking up another one of these in a different cover material. I don't know if they did the green one. They may have done the green one, so maybe I'll try to get one of them. Although I've ordered 2 Barlows with the green covers and they were bad. So I don't know how I feel about that. Whereas these seem like they're put together a lot better. These maroon cover up ones. But yeah, if you haven't checked out Baron Sun, maybe check out Baron Sun. Fairly affordable pocket knives made here in the United States. If that's a big point for you, I know for a lot of people it is. I don't necessarily care, but I always like to support American companies when I can, and when it makes sense to do so. But anyway, Baron Sun medium folding. I'm going to say that like 2,000 times. Um, that's going to be it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one, and I hope you have a good day.